All right, so we're getting started. There's multiple chapters in this video. Please feel free to check them out. I got one going over the Visio of this environment. I got a little video clip of the actual physical hardware and how I set it up in this cool little nightstand. And then one actually goes through the different physical hardware that I bought on Amazon so you can see all the prices and everything else on what I purchased. So what I have here is I wanted something enterprise level that was be able to do HA and vMotion and backups, a bare metal hypervisor. So Proxmox pretty much had it all right out of the package. As you can see right here, I don't have a subscription. I just downloaded it off the web. I use a program called Rufus to burn the ISO out to a USB stick, booted it up, and went to town. And so far, what I've got a 3-node cluster right now. Proxmox 1 is running on a Beelink. Got a couple systems running. Proxmox 2, got just one system running for right now. Proxmox 3, this is actually just for HA in quorum so that I don't have the split brain problem. So this is actually running on a third Beelink, which is actually serving the shared storage. So what I did is I also installed KVM on that node and then installed Proxmox as a VM. So now I have a 3-node cluster, which then properly handles the quorum. The great thing about this too is it not only gives you everything you want, it gives you tons of different reporting. Right here you saw this big spike in my CPU usage, definitely on my network traffic because this is when my backups ran. So you can see the performance graphs really detailed. You can see, right here, I've got 40 CPUs or cores, 33 gigs of RAM, about 3.6 terabytes of hard drive space. So you get tons of reporting in here, which is just wonderful. Then also, like I said before, you get a backup solution. The backup solution I currently have set up, it goes to an external hard drive that's mounted. So right here is the external hard drive that's mounted was plugged into one of the Beelink systems. Then I mounted that as an external hard drive so I could put my ISO images and my backups. So that's where that runs. And then on the backup environment, you simply say new backup, okay, node, or you can hit all, select your storage, select what time you want. You can click all your VMs or click them all, however you want to do it. Check your compression type and just hit OK. And oh, the other thing is you also can set a retention. So it's like keep last 6, keep a weekly. So I've actually utilized this. I had my Windows VM mess up on me because I did something stupid. And I actually had to do a restore, and I actually used the backup solution, and it worked great. So that was wonderful. The one thing I'll show you so you can see the hardware on each VM. So what I did on all my other VMs is I just moved the hard disk over to my shared storage, which is the A100. What I'm using for shared storage is I have Red Hat Enterprise Linux running on top of a Beelink system. That Beelink system has an extra hard drive in it, NVMe chip, 1 terabyte. Then what I did is I created and allocated all the space for one NFS share and then mounted that as shared storage in Proxmox. So none of my VMs are actually running on the actual Proxmox servers for storage. It's running on this A100 on a separate Beelink system. But what I did is I migrated this hard disk over to my shared storage. But what I forgot to do is my EFI disk and my TPM disk. So these I didn't have my Red Hat systems. So if you try to just move this to your shared storage and forget about these two, when you try to do a vMotion, it breaks because it'll run, but the next time you reboot, it'll break because it doesn't have the EFI and the TPM disk. So just a little note on that one. So just back to it, you can see my status online. It gives you, charts over here. Gives you your IPs, CPU usage, memory usage. Um, Going over the drives. This is the local VM, the local storage on the actual physical device. So on Proxmox 1, that physical system, these two drives or mounts, represent the local system. This is the physical external hard drive that I plugged into Proxmox 1. And as you can see also, it is actually presented to Proxmox 2 and Proxmox 3. And then where I have my shared storage is on A100. And you can see on my VM disk, so these are what's running. And I could easily just come here, right click, migrate, and let's move it over to Proxmox 2. It'll start the process, say okay. So we're moving K31, and if you look down here, so it started a HA migrate process, and it's kicking it off. Oh, and here in about a minute, if that, 30 seconds, it's going to migrate all. And yet again, you got to remember, this is just running the CPU and the memory. So it's not actually moving the storage because the storage is on an NFS share. So now I'm running on my other physical node. And as you can see, everything's fine. It's up and running. You can log in. Oh, that's another thing. You have access to the console just like anywhere else. But just like other systems, you can't really copy and paste through it. That's fine. This has just got, I mean, you got snapshots, you got backups, you got pretty much everything you would want at enterprise level in a free community edition that you don't have to pay for, and it works pretty much right out of the box. In the next, like I said, in the next videos, I'll be going over, a diagram of my environment, what I paid for, and actually, the web page of the different devices and the prices that I paid for them. And yet again, I built this over time. It's not like I went to the online and just bought everything at once. I slowly built my environment and got it up to where it is today. So don't be discouraged, like, oh, I don't have this kind of money. Well, no one really does unless you're wealthy. So, just build on it little by little, and over a year or so, you'll have a pretty nice environment. All right, so let's. All right, now for this part, let's kind of go over this diagram and give you an update of all the hardware and what's running on the hardware. So the first piece of hardware is right here. This is a Beelink ERQ5. It's got an AMD Ryzen, here we go, the stats. 16 gigs of RAM, 500 gigabytes on NVMe, dual 1 gigabit NICs. Got another Beelink ERQ5, same stats, and a Beelink SER5. This one's got a little bit different stats. It's got the 24 gigabytes of RAM. I added an external hard drive, not external, but a secondary drive. You see this down here, the NFS NVMe 1 terabyte. Then I actually have this connected over a 2.5 gigabits connection. The other ones are running 1 gigabits connection. This is a TP-Link 2.5 gigabit switch. So what I have is you got your two Beelink systems. Then running on top of that, I got Proxmox. So I got a Proxmox hypervisor running on one Beelink, another Proxmox 2 running on another Beelink, and then what you see across here at the bottom is the third Beelink is an NFS server, and it's serving out storage, which is then registered in the Proxmox, both Proxmoxes. So more or less, I've got now shared storage, kind of like a SAN setup, you would think, so that I can vMotion systems from one to the other and everything else. So on Proxmox 1, I'm running my Ansible on Red Hat, Kali Linux, Windows Server 2022, Proxmox 02. I got Podman and K31. K31 is going to be my first node. I haven't spun up my second one for my Kubernetes K3 instance. So I also, on the Beelink, of course, you got local storage. So on the local storage on this Beelink here is where I kind of built my RHEL template for Red Hat, so that I can just spin up all my systems using this template. And it's got I used Ansible software to install all the different packages I wanted on my template, so that every time I spin up a Red Hat system, it's got a suite of software already installed that I want. The external USB hard drive up here in the top left corner, this is actually mounted, well, it's plugged into the Beelink system, and it's mounted in Proxmox 01 as backup and ISO storage. So Proxmox, by default install, came with some basic backup software where it does a snapshot, kind of like Veeam, and you can even set up, hey, I want to keep the last 5 days worth of history, first in, first out kind of thing. And so I set up the backups. Now all my backups are copied across and saved on the external USB drive, and it runs every night at like 9 o'clock. So what I've got running here, this in my solution, I wanted to get as close to an enterprise solution as I could. So I've got virtualization, I've got vMotion, that's what you see down here at the bottom. I got shared storage, got ISO repository, I got OVA support, I got a backup solution, and I even have updates. Even though it's only the community edition, you still get updates for it. In the virtualization world, I wanted to kind of test out everything. I got Red Hat, Kali Linux, Ubuntu, Windows Server. So I'm trying to, test this and see, okay, what can't I run on this? The only thing I've had problem with so far on it is I tried to take an OVA file and install Nagios XI, and that failed. I think it was because of an incompatibility. I didn't really drill down into it too hard because I already have one running on another system, but I wanted to see if I could get that up and running here. So this is actually my layout, my design. I think I've actually built off a little bit more onto this, and I'll get that updated here in a little bit. And in the next section, I'm going to go through my Amazon account and show you each one of these devices and what I bought, what I paid for them, and everything. So you can kind of get an idea of these different systems and physically not physically, but visually get a look at them on, where I got them from on Amazon. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in and appreciate it. On to the next step.